Regina, and you are you. Hey, welcome to the show. Welcome to Conversation with Regina. We've got a really big show lined up for today. We're going to talk about forgiveness, and I think that that's really important today. I didn't realize how important it really was, but this is Trans Week of Remembrance, and so let's talk about forgiveness a little bit and see where we go. Anyway, let's get down to the business right off the get-go. Let me get my list out here. And so my memory is so good. I have to have a list of all the business that we have to take care of because I can't remember. I get excited because I'm here. I'm thinking about the topic for the day, and Lord have mercy on me. But my memory's shot. It might have been all those drugs and all the alcohol. I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's gone. So anyway, be sure and subscribe to my channel. We get more of the algorithms going if we subscribe here and give me some likes. Really love the likes thing. And so let's just do her. There's all kinds of links here. And so my friends, sites. Let's get on with it here. Vintage Vanity. Naya has a site. Great site. Talks about perfumes. Diana has a site. Diana Salome. And Terry's here. Hey, great. Great. Am I echoing? So anyway, let me know if I am. The Chloe Connection is another good site. We have Louise Richardson, who also has a YouTube channel, and wonderful. She does some great things. And Brittany D. And last but not least is the Beyond Trans channel. Marty does her show every Sunday. Her guest this week is rumored to be myself. And so just saying, see y'all Sunday too. Hope so. Look forward to it. And so, we're sponsored here by Ray's Roast Coffee. Ray's Roast buys all my equipment and whatnot. And so, drinking a little bit of that geisha, the geisha is a varietal of coffee that sometimes goes for as much as $1,000 a pound green coffee. This one is not nearly that expensive. We're going to do a little Christmas special with it. Me and the boys over at 10 Ton Coffee in Wadesburg. And so, it's, oh gosh, it's a great, great thing. I specialize in single origin varietals, and I do have like the Queen's Blend, and so that's one I came up with myself, and it's been relatively consistent over the years. Being a small roaster, things have a tendency to change because I only buy coffee of 1 or 2 bags of the same thing at a time, but I usually have about 10 to 15 different coffees in stock. So, and get your orders in. Okay. Who's in the chat? So, hey, Naya, how are you doing today? Hey, Terry, it's good to see you here. Christy, Terry. Lara West. Nice to see you today. And Yahara. Excellent, excellent. Well, we've gotten a chat room full. And so I have much trepidation about this topic today. I'm sure that you all wonder why I talk about the kind of things that I do. I became kind of a seeker in the 70s, when I would like drop LSD and stuff, and kind of got this spiritual thing going. And then I got lost, completely lost, and became an alcoholic, drug addict. And so when I got clean and sober about, oh gosh, just under 30 years ago, I started finding that I was still a seeker and seeking that spiritual path. And but one of the things that I've learned over time is I can't think my way into a new way of action. I have to act my way into a new way of thinking. And so this is why I like to talk about gratitude and community and forgiveness and oh gosh, I think today, under the circumstances, we need to talk about forgiveness. And but I hold on. I forgot to do one thing that I've thought about ever since last Wednesday. And one of my listeners pointed out that I was an ageist, and which means that I'm not partial to certain age categories, and it just happens to be my age category. And I don't really want to be noted as a ageist. But when we were young, we made some changes in our world, and we got a war stopped, we got the environment cleaned up, we got a lot of stuff done, and it was with the help of everybody. And it wasn't just us, but we were the ones that were out on the streets protesting and whatnot. And now it's, in the 80s, we became apathetic. Many of us did, not all. But a lot of things started changing, and now our world needs to be cleaned up again, and we need to stop the wars, and we need to do all the stuff. And that's why I feel like my age bracket has failed to a certain extent. Do I dislike being old? No, I embrace the age that I have gained, and I'm proud to be 70 years old, because I made it and so many of my friends did not. I've lost a partner, I've lost many friends, I've got stories, that you all don't need to hear today. But I think that we're, so thank you for pointing out the fact that, calling bullshit is essentially what happened there. And so this is part of being able to walk the walk. If you're going to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk. And if I'm trying to do a spiritual path, here we go. And I'm going to try to act my way into a new way of thinking, because I tell you what, forgiveness at times is hard for me, and so, oh gosh, where to start. So I think that what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this off with a reading. I'm going to read from a book that I've had on here before, The Joy of Happiness with Desmond Tutu and the Dalai Lama. And I just want to read a little page here, and then I'll go back to it further on down the road. But just to get us started, because we are getting through with an administration that has wanted to eradicate people like you and I, and there was, in my community right here, it was about a 70% people who voted for that man in the elections. And 1 or 2 points one way or the other. It doesn't make any difference. But it's hard for me to think about limiting myself to just 30 to 40 to 50% of the people, and so I that's one of the reasons why I want to come at this. But let me read this first, and I'll try and kind of keep it a little bit short because I've got so much to say. But here we go. I have seen remarkable instances of forgiveness carried out by people who we would not have thought could possibly do it, said the Archbishop began. In one instance, during the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, we had mothers of some young people who had been lured by those working with the apartheid system into a booby trap where they were killed. One of the mothers said she switched on her television set and saw the body of her son being dragged. And apart from her anguish at the death of her son, there was a deep anger at his body being treated as if it were the carcass of an animal. When these mothers came to the commission, they were quite amazing, really, because no one demanded that they should forgive these people who were formerly members of the African National Congress, who then turned and supported the government forces. The ones who betrayed these young people came and appeared in front of these mothers and asked for their forgiveness. And when the mother of the young man who had been dragged through the street saw the traitor, she took off her shoe and threw it at him, the Archbishop said, laughing and pretending to throw a shoe with his left hand. We had to adjourn for a little while, but then during the break came a totally fantastic moment as they sat there and their spokesperson said, the Archbishop closed his eyes, here I go, and remembering the unbelievable power of her words, my child, she said, my child, to this one who had been responsible for the death of their children. She said, my child, we forgive you. And obviously, I can't continue to read that. Oh my God. And so here I am looking at these people who voted for this guy and, knowing that some of them are racist and some of them are homophobic and transphobic and nothing, absolutely nothing that I want any part of. And because of the people that I follow, think that I should live in forgiveness. And I find that most difficult to do because, my God, they were trying to eradicate me last week, and how? Yesterday I was doing a meditation and I read down there and it says, I am loving awareness, and that doesn't mean just my friends. That means everybody on the face of the planet. I am loving awareness. I am aware that you and I are equal. And that's some pretty powerful stuff. Oh, but it's so hard to do. And how do we get there? What does it take to open that heart and let the love pour pour through to these people who see things differently from me. Um, I'm kind of like one of these people who I've decided that the only way that I can change the world is the person that I want the world to change to, and so wow, that means that I have to open my heart. I have to like put love out there. I have to find that forgiveness even when I don't want to. And probably the next thing that I'm going to read is going to talk about how we deal with that part of it, and so maybe now would be the time to do that little reading, and I'll talk a little bit more, and then we'll check in and see what everybody's got to say. So here we go for reading number 2. Welcome to Regina's reading room. Oh, here we go. So this is the Dalai Lama speaking here. In our view, also, these people who are committing atrocities, including murder, are creating karma that brings very serious negative consequences. So there are many reasons to feel a sense of real concern for their well-being. When we have a sense of concern for their well-being, then there is no place for anger and hatred to grow. Forgiveness, the Dalai Lama continued, does not mean we forget. You should remember the negative thing, but because there is a possibility to develop hatred, we mustn't allow ourselves to be led in that direction. We choose forgiveness. The Archbishop was also clear about this. Forgiveness does not mean you forget what someone has done, contrary to the saying, forgive and forget. Not reacting with negativity or giving in to the negative emotions does not mean you do not respond to the acts or that you allow yourself to be harmed again. Forgiveness does not mean that you do not seek justice or that the perpetrator is not punished. The Dalai Lama has chosen not to react out of anger and hatred, but that isn't easy to say. He won't speak. But that isn't to say he won't speak out against the Chinese occupation or what they are doing inside Tibet until the Tibetan people can live with dignity and freedom. And I think that you can get the gist of what these guys are saying. I mean, oh, mercy. And so how do we keep from being angry? How do we keep the negative thoughts? And how do we, I mean, it's easy to not forget, I think. I'm going to shut up for a few minutes and make some comments about what I see up here. I don't know how far back to go. Oh, so anyway, everybody, there's like a whole bunch more people here now than what was here before, and so oh gosh, I got to say hi to some of these folks. And like Naya, I haven't said hi. Naya, how are you doing? Oh yeah, Louise, you are in my age bracket, and I love it. Oh gosh, now okay. So bear with me here a minute. Well, you guys really get it going in the comment section. I could just do this and be quiet all the time, and but then where if I'm not talking, whew. Hey, Sarah's here. That's who I wanted to say hi to. Hi, Sarah. Okay. Casey, why do you feel like Pinocchio? Oh, dear. Lara says, it is difficult, Regina. Many just don't want us to even exist. We're just going to have to change that, right? Like we do here and now by talking and sharing. Yahara says, forgiveness comes after understanding, which is the hardest part. So understanding, yeah. But sometimes, I don't understand, why hate gets directed at people, regardless, I've long said when concerning transness, is that a word? What happens beyond the tip of your nose is nobody else's business. And so if you're transphobic, homophobic, any of those phobics, it's none of your business. Just accept. And as long as we're not hurting anyone, then, it's really not your business. So why the hate? And I think, we've all felt some of that. Oh gosh. Quiet, Regina. Okay. So here's Naya going, yeah, Christy, it's like hurting yourself more by manifesting negative energy and living with the hatred in your heart, kind of a double whammy of negativity. That is exactly one of the points that I wanted to make with this discussion, is when we have these negative thoughts, when we hate people, who does it hurt? Because 9 times out of 10, they don't even know that we hate them. They got no idea. And so we're holding all that negativity right here in our heart. What good is that doing me if I've got hate in my heart? It's just somebody living in my head and not paying me any rent. They're bringing nothing to the table and they're taking space. And I just find that to be unacceptable. And so, there is a deal, and I'm going to share a little bit about recovery programs. Excuse me. But there's a deal in AA that talks about praying for someone that you have a resentment against. And I have taken this upon myself to do many times because it works. You pray for them to get exactly the things that you personally want in life, and to wish them well. And then that takes all the power out of your negative thoughts. And I love that. Hey, Jessica Dean, how are you today? And so that's kind of like what we can do to fight the negativity within ourselves. And if anybody wants me to go into that deeper, let me know, and I will. But I don't want to make this like a recovery meeting. It's just I bring things. That's where I come from, is through 28 years of living recovery. And so am I perfect at it? God, no. But I'm getting better. And so and that's all we can do is get better. I so it comes from irrational fear. Amen. Amen. Walk a mile in my shoes. Good point. Good point. Yeah, we never know. But a lot of times the transphobia and the homophobia and all that is like taught to people. Their family has been this way for a long time, and they can't accept anything different. And so it's pretty hard to get those folks to walk in your shoes. They just are not listening. And a lot of times the only thing that we can do is be out and about and make ourselves visible and be willing to talk to them. And if we've shut ourselves down with negativity and irrational fears, we're not going to do very well about changing the world. I did not realize when I came to the decision to talk about forgiveness, what a freaking deep subject that would be. And this morning when I was reading the Desmond Tutu stuff, I read about 4 or 5 more pages and I was so grateful I hadn't put my makeup on yet, because I was like sitting there crying and because it's so powerful, and then Christy brought up earlier about forgiving ourselves for the wrongs that we have done. And oh my stars, that's a whole nother day's topic, just about. I mean, God, forgiveness is so huge and so, I don't know, lacking in the world. Oh, anyway, I digress. I don't know if I digress, but I always look at the source of the hatred and who is saying it or acting upon it and feel bad for them and try to avoid them in my life. Keep my circles small and positive. I agree to that to a certain extent. It's like my brother. He despises, people like me. And it's easy to keep it. We weren't that close before I transitioned, and it's pretty easy to keep him out of my life. We talk occasionally, once every 10, 15 years, didn't matter. And it was usually pretty comfortable, but yeah, I don't miss him. I could tell you the story about how him and my father used to beat me up all the time, but what would the point of that be? So I have some forgiveness to do on my own terms. That's one of those things that keeps going off in my head when I came up with all of this, and during a conversation last week, is like, how do I deal with my brother? Do I forgive him? Yeah, I should. Do I fill my heart with love for him? He's my brother. Of course I love him, kind of, maybe. But there's always room for improvement. And I know some of you have trouble with your families, and I guess I was lucky. I was just never all that close with my family anyway. I love my sister. I talk to her once a month or so, and we're fine, but man, and I have a cousin I talk to, and that's interesting, but boy, him and we had a nice conversation just the other day, a couple of hours worth of conversation. It was pretty nice. As our age bracket, and I says to him, I says, John, here we're all going to start dying soon. What am I going to do about funerals? Should I go? And he said, damn right, Regina, you should come, and I wouldn't be surprised, but if we don't ride together. But anyway, I digress now. Are you okay, Louise? Are you triggered? Have we? I'm trying to. Did I go backwards or something? It takes a lot of self-analysis in order to find the nature of the unforgiveness nature. We at times don't realize that the only person we are hurting is ourselves. So true. So true. I think that's really a huge thing is understanding that unforgiveness that we have is actually only affecting us, Oh my gosh, Lara, you've hit the nail on the head here. I was phobic in all trans folks, because I saw myself in you all, and it just scared me. I had to forgive myself, hurt myself more than anyone else. Yeah, I've been down that path myself, and that's really. I'm not even sure how comfortable I am talking about all that. I guess we should have that conversation one day. That's the thing about this is even though I hold everybody at bay, and then I come on my YouTube channel and I start talking about things that are like personal and whatnot, and you all get to know me, and I don't even, I'm just like holding you back. I'm holding you back. But really, here we are talking, and there's so much realness in what you guys are saying, and wow, what a great way to spend Wednesday afternoon. I love it here. Oh dear. How come that keeps doing that? Oh, my person, okay. Unless some physically hurts me or my family or loved ones in words or actions, then I can move on and let go and understand they know no better. The world is not always a nice place, sadly. So true. So true. But, some of that stuff we just, what are you going to do? It's like you're swimming in a pool and you got this big rock. This is like your anger, and this pool, to stay afloat in it is your life. And if you don't drop that freaking rock, you're going down. And you know, it's hard to continue living when you're underwater or when you're trying to hold onto a rock and tread water. You guys are probably leaps and bounds ahead of me here. Oh, I see. Yeah, I've heard about that before, Louise. And yeah, it's hard. It is hard, but you know, in my own case, there was some things that went on in the early days that kind of separated my brother and I anyway, and I don't believe in his lifestyle. So anyway, so we've all, you know, from the sounds of things, I mean, I'm not alone. Louise is not alone. And that's the beauty, because here, this chat room, and we're coming together and we can talk about our pain and get it out in the open, and maybe we can let go of some of it, and you know, get a little healing and whatnot out of our lives, and go out into the world and start making a difference, you know. I like making a difference. I don't know. I shouldn't say things like that. And forgiveness is form of freeing oneself. Most of the time, the offending party never thinks about what they did. Amen. And that is so true. The offended party is the one who keep the pain lingering until we realize that we are the ones being hurt. And there's Eva. Hi, Eva. How are you today? I'm glad you could make it. Love you, Louise. I have family that just seem lost to me. You rock. Amen. Yeah. There, we can only take care of ourselves and be the people that we want the world to be, and that's all that we can do, you know. What is the process to be able to forgive? Well, son of a gun. What is the process? I wish I had one of those things I could bring that up on the screen. Where'd that go? What is the process of being able to forgive? I don't know. You know, that's what was the title of this? How do I find forgiveness? And I don't know. I mean, meditation, you know, I am loving awareness, opening our hearts, finding kindness and treating people with kindness. I don't know. What do you think? What do you guys think is the process? That's kind of where I've started, is being kind to people. You know, since I closed my coffee shop, I don't have enough people to be kind to. I don't see that many people anymore. And I was talking to somebody the other day and they were kind of looking for a job. And I said, well, we could open up the coffee shop again. The building's still available. And I thought, oh God, what would I do? I wouldn't be able to do this anymore. And I think I like this. I think I like this, so anyway, I'm going to keep scrolling down and see if you guys came up with what your process of finding forgiveness is. Oh dear. All of a sudden we had some single line stuff, and now don't forget the thumbs up, please. Are we missing thumbs up? Whoa, we got 12 of them. Hey, it's Teresa Hendrickson. How are you doing? They shouldn't do it anymore. Amen. I'm sorry, but I have family member who also feel that I had affected their lives because of being my true self. If you ask me, I don't care. It is their problem. And that is it. When people come up and treat me negatively, and some of my closest friends in AA did that to me. They were not accepting, dead named me for a long dang time. And so I started talking about how it was their problem, not mine, even though it would make me angry and negative. But the truth of it is I need to drop that rock, and I did. And oh gosh. Hey, Adelaide. Hi, Diana. And like you said, working on forgiving myself for hurts I caused to others. And that's a big one. And I kind of think sometimes that we need to forgive ourselves for our transgressions that we feel that we need to forgive ourselves for before we can really, move on and start forgiving other people too. I don't know. For sure, I'm the girl with no answers here. But it's been said that we can't love others until we love ourselves. And so does that hold true with forgiveness? We can't forgive others until we forgive ourselves. If we're coming at this from an aspect of love everyone, what do you think? What do you think? I think I have to release the anger. This is my start with writing, but I get the impression I will be yelling and screaming in a room by myself at some point in the process. And what's the matter with that? If you lock yourself in a room and you start screaming, I'll never forget. I was like sitting smoking dope someplace, smoking marijuana. I guess dope is not the right word to use anymore. Sitting smoking marijuana. This was like when I was in my 20s. And this gentleman got up, excused himself, went down in the basement. And the next thing you hear was him pounding his head on one of the posts in the basement and screaming, getting angry. And it was Gestalt or some kind of therapy that was the therapy of the weak thing. And it gained some traction there about 1971 or so. Interesting thing, but it just like totally freaked me out. I had to leave. But anyway, oh my. But it is a real thing, to go and take that anger out on nothing. Did I miss Heidi? Hi, Heidi. Who's anyway? Um, Lyra West. Yes, I had to love myself, and forgiving is the key ingredient. All right. And Christy had just, Diana, for me, I had to forgive my younger self for the decisions and actions that got me to the here and now. I think you might approach forgiving yourself in the same way. And Adelaide says, lobotomy has helped me. Well, I cry when I watch One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. I watched that a long, long time ago and cried like a baby, and read the book, cried like a baby. Watched the movie the other day and cried like a baby. More things about lobotomy I don't understand. But I do understand crying like a baby. I sometimes have regrets, but when I think about it, maybe I'm not the worst little girl in the world. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. None of us are. Please thumbs up. Yay. Always good thing to take your anger out on nothing rather than hurting other people. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, Sarah, thumbs up. Thank you, sweetheart. I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy. That's priceless, Louise. Oh, mercy. Oh, I agree. The child left behind, I had to go back and bring her back with me, healing the inner child. Oh, gosh. So, we made it through. So, did I miss anything of that we really need to discuss here? If so, put it up down here at the bottom, and see if I can catch it this time. Oh my gosh, what have we done here? We opened up a whole can of worms, and I'm loving it. I'm not always. It's not always easy. But it's part of life for us and for everyone, really. God, and it comes up all the time. It's not just about the elections. It's about every dang thing. How, if we're faced with that most difficult, like the Desmond Tutu thing with the folks there in Africa, that's powerful. And how do you find that within yourself to do that? I mean, how heroic and candles, and yes, it's kind of come up several times so far. Okay, yeah. Hey, thank you so much, Yahara, for being here today. If you've got to run, you go, girl. And thank you for contributing to the conversation. Muchly appreciated. Have a great day. Namaste. Growing older is not an advantage. Well, it's not an advantage to forgiveness. I'm not sure of that. You know, I kind of like that whole thing about having had to live every day that I've lived to be where I'm at today. And I like where I'm at today. You know, go back 10 years or 20 years, and I'm not sure you would hear me talking too much about that. Amen. Thank you, Louise. Two are great role models. Mandela was in prison for 28 years and forgave his oppressors. Right on. So you know, back to the whole age thing. So it's easier for me to look at the difficulties in what it's, you know, into holding on to the negative stuff. I remember, and I was like, this was about 25, probably been closer to 20 years ago. There was a man sitting in my living room, and we were talking, and he slams his coffee cup down on the coffee table, and he said, "Jesus Christ, you're the most negative person I've ever met." And I was floored, you know, and that has done a lot to make me take a look at myself and start to change and to figure out how I could change that. And so age has given me a different perspective on where everything is. You know, I always loved the word wizened, and I always wanted to be able to use it. And I feel kind of like as I've gotten older that I've become somewhat wizened, you know, but it's taken a whole lifetime to get that way. And you know, how great is that? I agreed to an interview tomorrow with media locally to remember our fallen trans family, raise awareness, hopefully spread some hope for us, maybe open the door to forgiveness. And well, that's great, Lara. That's great. I that is the kind of thing that we can do, you know. Open that door. But you know, and my question now is you know, do we need to open the door to just forgive them? You know, can't we just do it? I mean, it's difficult. This is, you know, you see where I'm coming from. I mean, it's just a rhetorical question that I've got here. And if you look in the past, you will be stuck there. Whoop, we're going too fast here. If you look in the past, you will be stuck there. If you look in the future, you will miss what's in front of you. You have to live in the present. So true. So very true. But we can learn from our past, not to get stuck there, but just to learn. And, you know, and that we kind of need a direction. But you're right. The most important moment is the one that you're living in right now. And I couldn't agree with that more. So that was kind of one of the things that I was talking about at the beginning, was that this is, the trans week of remembrance, and so kind of why I wanted to talk about forgiveness today is we need to find it in our hearts to lay it out there and then be forgiving. But don't forget, and I already read that part, didn't I? About, not forgetting. We have met the enemy, and they are so true, Louise. Thank you for bringing that to the table. Today's a gift, which is why it's called the present. I think for me, forgiveness is the choice to know to give a crap, not to give a crap what others try to do to me. But you don't want to forget them either, Eva. I see what you're saying, though. Yeah. Lara West, wow, can't wait to see that, Casey. Love your comics. You're amazing. Does it take someone to truly ask for forgiveness to be honestly able to offer it? Thinking of the first example Regina read. I don't think that they need to ask for it. Maybe, though, by their asking, we think of it. I don't know. If it seems as though it's a burden on ourselves, if like the guy that cuts me off when on the freeway or something, and pisses me off. I love road rage. No, I don't. But it's something not very important and easy to cast aside. But if that weighs on you, then I think you need to forgive, regardless of what the circumstance, whether they ask or not. When you got people who know they've done wrong, and they feel enough remorse, like in the case of those people who did that in that first story, they know what they've done. I don't know. I don't have an answer, I guess, is what it comes up to. Heidi's dream, your goals and living in the future are two different things. Cool. Okay. I can't wait. Oh, it's a difference between a window and a door. When we close the door in the past, we should open a window so that we may look upon it, but can't walk back into it. Casey, where is that coming from, my friend? Wonderful. I like that. Now and live now. Yeah. So, Louise, Christy, I joked about it, but forgiveness is up to us whether the other person relents or not. Yeah. It's wonderful to be asked. Very true, Louise. It's always nice to be asked out loud. It's at least acknowledge the actions. Question: when was the first time you looked in the mirror, you saw yourself and cried because you really saw you? Well, that's a really, I'm sorry I'm not sure that I ever have. I don't know. I know that there are times looking in the mirror, I'm just totally dysphoric. I don't find that to be so much anymore. You know, that has kind of slipped away. I still get twinges of it now and then, but to just sit and just be grateful for who I am. I spend a lot of mornings being grateful, but I'm not sure I can answer that very well, Lara. Adelaide brings up a point of when her husband called her up, her ex-husband apparently called her up to ask to make amends with her, and that's something that I've had to do in recovery is make the amends and ask people for forgiveness and you know it's sometimes it works out really well, and other times it doesn't work out well at all. And like when I made amends to my stepson, he just said, I hear you. You've done it. And that was it. And we've not talked again since. And so be it. You're really on to an important thing here, Lara, and denial was so ingrained. When I came out, I finally let myself see myself. That was just so amazing. And I understand where you're at with that. And God, now I'm going, oh, looking in the mirror and seeing myself. Here's the thing. I've always hated my hands, because they're hams, And the other day I was looking, there was something about the way I was holding my hand, and they didn't look like man hands, Remember that Seinfeld episode when Jerry's dating this girl and she's got, oh my God, man hands? And I just, dysphoria. Oh, the cool thing that my therapist did when I first started, she said, take a picture of yourself and then go put that in the bathroom next to your mirror. And then write on that picture all the cool qualities of you as a woman, and I actually did that, and it was very beneficial, and it was great. So yeah, those therapists are really pretty cool. You know, and it was funny last week after the show, after the ages thing, I was talking to my therapist about that, and she was the one who said, "Well, maybe you were being an ageist," and so anyway. You can see your past lives. I tried that once when I was tripping on LSD. That was when I heard that you could like do this mirror gazing and then you just drop this acid and sit there and stare in the mirror and you'd see all your past lives. Oh my God. You know, that was freaky. Oh, thank you, Lara. And it's, where are we at on time? Hour 6. It was still good. Yeah, Lara. Man, yeah, I have struggled it, and that was part of the reason why I wouldn't put fingernail polish on, is because it just made it stand out even more that I just had man hands, and you know, it's better today. It's better. You know, did I ever show you guys a picture of the Raised Roast founder? You know, and it's crazy. It is crazy that what 5 years of hormones will do to you. What did I miss? Oh, so God, you guys, I just love you all to pieces. You know, this has been so fun. This has really been somewhat cathartic as well. And Terry, are you still there? And oh, mercy, you know. And Casey says something about unless something happens with, you know, I'm getting to that age where, you know, it could be any minute. Last Sunday during I was watching Marty's deal. I got a message on my phone. One of my best friends here in town died, just fell over dead, you know. And that was why I left the chat on Sunday. Is a good friend. I'd just gotten word. I was like shocked. I could not sit there any longer. And that's really, I don't want to die with a bunch of hate in my heart. You know, I don't want to, dying's just one of those things, but I want it to be a loving experience, to go someplace and to just dive into the melting pot of souls and have love in my heart. I don't want a bunch of negative stuff there. And so yeah, that's part of what my trip is all about, is just coming to terms with life, you know, because part of life is that part, dying. And so I don't want to die that way. I don't want to die hating people. I don't want to die. Oh my God, you guys show us. Okay, I will. It's right here. Because I was gonna like put this in down at the fair last year, because in my fair booth, they always come and get me uh, to put a booth in the fair. And so it was kind of a retrospective. And so then I asked this lady, you know, that I've been friendly with, and I showed her this picture and I said, what do you think about me putting this in there? And she says, I wouldn't. I just see a handsome man there. And I just thought, you know, you're right. I'm not going to. And I'm glad I got a big old frickin' ribbon. You know, I was like in the top 3. Grand prize kind of deal. So here we go. The big reveal is coming up right now. Oh, there. That's a pretty good shot. That is the founder of Ray's Roast Coffee, sitting amongst the coffee bags. That was the first bags of coffee Ray's Roast had ever bought. And that could be, I don't think it is the last picture, but pretty close. No, it's not even close. So I showed, no, you, what didn't I do? Oh, I came to like my hands and feet a few years ago and started getting my nails done. I started doing my nails a while back, and then the way I was doing it just ate them up, and they got so weak. And I thought, no, I can't do that. So once in a while, I'll smear a little shit on them, but you know, that under the light curing thing. No, that it took like 3 months to make them all better again. You know, maybe on a special occasion, just do it once in a great while. Oh my God, my coffee got cold. Can you believe that? I've been so busy talking that I let this $5 my cost cup of coffee here. It's a good thing that I like cold coffee, you know. Personally, I drink most of my coffee cold. No, but I love it, Sarah. You hit the nail on the head all the time, girl. Ray, your brother. Ray, very cathartic. Oh, Ray put Regina on the map. Yeah. You know, I don't know. I think it's kind of funny sometimes because, you know, people used to ask me, "Oh, where's Ray?" And you know, I'd just say he's moved on, you know, and they go, "Oh, okay," and you know, and I said, I just took over. And I don't know if they ever really understood or what the deal was. And you know, I'll tell you though, Naya, I do kind of identify with Ray for one reason and one reason only. I like to pay a little homage to that dude because he carried me around for a long frickin' time. And I regret, you know, having not made myself more visible to that poor bastard, you know. He and I share a past, and I'm not willing to not tell those stories about my past. As I've said before today, that I've had to live every day of my life to be the person that I am today. And I'm really quite fond of the person that I am today. So if that means that I have to share that past with that dude, I'm good with that. I don't even like to say dead name. People ask me, are you going to change the name of your coffee shop? I said, no, I'm not going to change because I'm already branded, and that pays homage to that guy. I'm okay with it. Love like you describe I choose to try each day. Hey, you were always there. I see your smile in the pic. Thank you, Lara. Adelaide, I wished that I had to do that then. I know you're about the same age as I am, give or take a few decades. I don't know. But it just wasn't in the cards, and I didn't understand. I didn't know what those feelings were. I just thought I was freaking a freak, and I'd never heard really about any of it, and still when my mother, was at the doctor's office and I get home from school, I'd run in and play with her clothes for a little while. And then when she died, all those clothes disappeared, and that part of me left too. And it's just the way it was. You are not the first person I've ever heard say that, Naya. I'm going to read your deal. I never share pics with people of my former self because it was not me and disturbs me. I get that. But people want to know, and they want to know about me. And I transitioned 5 years ago at 65. I started transitioning, publicly when I was 64 years old, and then I started living as Regina full time when I was 65, right after I had my 65th birthday, and I've never put male clothes back on at all since the 1st of October, 5 years ago. And that's a lot of time. When you transition younger, it's a lot easier to do what you're saying. But like, that's 50 freaking years of living with that guy. And I know I struggle with that as well. And I mean, I probably need to work on a little bit of forgiveness there for, or do I don't know. Eva, I don't have very many. Trust me, I do not have very many. I can't find it, it's sad. Because I used to just drop everything and take off. I've been a vagabond for most of my adult life because I never fit in any place. And so I'd stay someplace and for 2-3 years generally, in my earlier days, and then I'd like drink myself into some kind of problem, and nobody wanted me around anymore, and so then I would go home and say, hey, where do you want to go next? I just quit my job, and out the door I go, and so we'd move all over the Northwest here, and it's not stuff I'm proud of, but it's really given me some insight into, oh, how do you say, life? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, Lara, I agree with you. There was some good, but they don't define today, and this is what Heidi was talking about, is we have this moment now. This is who I am today, and I remember working at the trailer factory years and years ago, and I walked out, and somebody said, at that time I went by the name of Doc, and somebody says, where are you going? As I was walking out, and I just looked at him and I says, I'm going to go find Ray. Well, I didn't realize even then that I was going off to find Regina, and within a year from that day, I had quit drinking, and things started changing, and the search for myself began. And so anyway, what a great day that we've had here. I'm really feeling pretty good about this. I think it's kind of like time to start wrapping it up a little bit, but oh, you know, I, my driver's license, Casey, is all changed and everything, and I still put the thumb over the picture. Fuck, if you want a bad picture, get your picture taken at Washington State Department of Licensing, or whatever the hell they call it, because they are guaranteed to take the most ugly picture possible, and they don't let me have my glasses on. And so the next thing I know is I'm sitting there, and every time I look at my driver's license, I see a picture of my father, and I just hate that. It gets dysphoric. Maybe maybe it's time to get it changed again. I don't know. I don't know. No, can't be, because I just had it done, what, 5 years ago, and they're good for 10 years. I haven't gotten my license changed, never, Sarah, but you just have to drop the E. Of course, nobody called me that. Oh, well, that was your body as a vessel, which encapsulated your mind as a human being. Transition does not change who we are, it just changes the outside. Right, right, perfect. We're on the same page, Naya. I just love it when we're all on the same page. Oh my God, where did all this stuff come from? Okay. I should have been. So funny, Lara, listening for me. Exactly. Nayakas, are you a psychologist or something? Naya is someone. Ghislaine got her driver's license yesterday or day before. You know, she was talking about that on Facebook. That was cool. You know, I got my driver's license, my passport, and all of that changed all at once. And after I went to court, finally, I've been just dreading that and going. And then, God, it turned out to be pretty easy. And I thought, oh, the passport thing was going to be so hard to do. And it was so easy. And it was actually one of my first pieces of identification that said female on it. Yeah. 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 I love to travel. Yeah. And then what was the other one? My birth certificate came back, and that all happened about the same time too. And that was pretty cool when my birth certificate came back with big F on there. Woohoo! Beauty. Oh, kind of like Olympic baton pass. Our old selves would just pass the baton unto us. Nice analogy. Yeah, that's kind of it, Lara, because I have a daughter. You know, problem for me is I have kids and grandkids, and they have a lifetimes of pics of me and them together. It's a difficult thing to deal with, but you know, that's reality. And I'm lucky my daughter still talks to me. You know, that's one of the things that Casey deals with in her comic strip is how the kids are with moms and dad. You know. Well, there's an interesting question. Do you think it's a form of internal transphobia, Lara? We need to accept and not be ashamed of how we got to be who we are. Actually, I think it's like an individual choice, Christy. I don't think it really has anything to do with transphobia. Um, it just, you know, we don't all have to be the same. Jezebel. Well, we're at our 1.5 hours. So why don't we just wrap this up? God, I'm just having more fun. I could probably go on. We could probably keep this going, but I think we all got stuff we probably need to do. And so let's just call it a day. You know, I have truly, truly enjoyed. I think we had a great conversation about forgiveness. And I think that we've had a great conversation today, and I love this so much. I love you guys. The contributions that the chat room makes to this conversation is phenomenal. You guys are the champ. I see angry pictures up here, Casey. What is I can't get my birth certificate changed unless I have bottom surgery. I was born in one of the stricter states. That, that's interesting. What's it? Oh, born in one of the stricter states. Yeah, that might be difficult down. Wow. Well, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Louise, I really like what you say about finding a lawyer, because that was what I finally did to start that whole process of legally changing my name, because I wasn't doing it. And I have found that sometimes I just need to pay somebody to get the ball rolling and guide me through stuff that knows what they're doing. And that it cost me $300, and it was the best $300 I spent. And darn, I think sometimes if you're having problems, get a lawyer and get you moving through it. It'll be money well spent, provided you get the right lawyer. So, thanks for coming today, Teresa. Good to see you. So yeah, let's just like close this down. We're already, I don't know, why did we start an hour and a half? Although, I was talking to somebody, wasn't last week, I think it was the week before. I went golfing after this, and they said, "Oh my God, Virginia, you sound like you're talked out." And I probably was. Anyway, hey, what a great show we've had today. And thank everyone for being here and for contributing. And let's get out there and make a difference in the little communities around us, and just be ourselves and go out and enjoy life, because we only got today, and that's it. And so I hope y'all know how to get a hold of me. Direct message, I'm on Facebook. If you want to talk or something, I've had some great conversations with some of you ladies, and I hope we have more. And so, wow. So the gender didn't know how to get me through. I attended 3 times over 2 years. Wow. Oh, thank you, Teresa. And okay, sounds good, Naya. And so I'm going to sign out, and you all have a wonderful day. And oh my God, I am just so happy. And thanks for being here today, Louise. And oh, my stars. Love you all. So long. Bye-bye.